This is News 13 at 6.
Property taxes are costing homeowners a lot of money. Find out what you can do to put that extra cash back in your pocket.
Find out just how much half a cent can buy for area schools.
A double shooting, a murder, and an armed robbery. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office had a busy night last night. We have the details.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for News 13 at 6. I'm Jerry Brown.
And I'm Amy Hoyt. A crime spree Monday night in Jackson County leaves one person dead, two others injured in separate incidents.
A fatal shooting happened just after 10 o'clock last night at 5222 Sharp Lane in Graceville. That's located several hundred yards off of Shiloh Church Loop. Investigators with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office say two black males approached the residence and forced a female and her two children into the trunk of their car. Later, shots were fired, killing Frederick Gerald Gilbert, who had been forced outside. Authorities say the quick thinking of one of the children probably saved the lives of the mother and her kids.
And about a 9 or 10-year-old child heard this commotion in the house, and he took Mama's phone and slipped it in his pocket. And when they put him in the trunk of the car, he had Mama's cell phone, and she was able to call from the trunk of the car. He said, "Mommy, I got your cell phone," so she was able to call us and let us know what was going on.
The suspects are described as two black males. One is tall and thin with a medium complexion. The other is described as short with a stocky build, wearing a do-rag or tight braids. Tonight, family members and neighbors hope the hunt for the murder suspects wraps up quickly. As News 13's Megan Albright tells us, it worries neighbors that something like this could happen right down the road.
John Staten has lived in this house on Sharp Lane for 27 years. He says in that time, nothing like this has ever happened before. He didn't hear anything Monday night and didn't know what happened until early in the morning.
But I got up at 1 o'clock, go to the bathroom, looked out the window, and I see all them cars up there flashing. And it was 4 cars. Police stayed up there. They stayed up there all night.
The murder happened right outside of Frederick Gerald Gilbert's house. You can still see crime scene tape and the car the children and their mother were locked inside of. A sheriff's deputy is watching the house because the sheriff's office is still investigating. Gilbert's family members are hoping the case is solved quickly.
I hope they'll catch them right immediately because they need to be caught, prosecuted on top of it.
Laurie says he's tried to keep busy because worrying won't solve the problem, but he feels badly for his grandkids.
No, I'm just so sorry that it happened on account of those little kids because they love the daddy. Megan
Albright, News 13, on your side.
If you have any information on this incident, you're asked to call the Jackson County Sheriff's Office at 482-9648 or Crime Stoppers at 526-5000.
In an unrelated incident, two people are hospitalized after a shootout in Marianna. Just before 8 last night, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office received a call from Pittman Hill Road off Larimore Road saying two people had been shot. Investigators say the residents, Elisa Dillmore and Willard Porter, were both wounded in the shootout. Authorities say the argument with the suspect was over the price of a pit bull the couple owned. The suspect, 18-year-old Jonathan Moody of Tallahassee, was located around dawn and taken into custody.
Apparently he lay down out there in the woods and did not move. The helicopter, probably from Bay County, was a great deal of help there, keeping him kind of in the area and not allowing him to leave. And the dogs working around him pretty close. And a little before daylight, he attempted to walk out.
Both victims were transported to Southeast Alabama Medical Center in Dothan. Jonathan Moody will make his first appearance tomorrow morning for 2 counts of attempted murder. Another incident kept Jackson County authorities busy on Monday night as well. This one, an armed robbery at a Marianna convenience store. That store is located at the intersection of Caverns Road and Old U.S. Road in Marianna. Investigators with the sheriff's office say around 8:30 last night, a masked gunman entered the Liberty store with a handgun and demanded money from the clerk. He was wearing a dark mask at the time of the robbery. Authorities say he then stole a small amount of cash and fled.
And they tracked him over to an old funeral home that would be due east of that store. And they dropped some gloves and some other evidence at that scene. And there was a car waiting for him there, and he took and left there.
The suspect is described as a black male, about 5'8", last seen wearing a black hooded jacket. If you have any information on this robbery, you should call the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, 482-9648.
A hit-and-run suspect is caught. 20-year-old Jeremy Matthew Hunt was arrested and charged with leaving the scene of a crash involving death. He surrendered to investigators after his employer told him police were searching for his vehicle. Investigators say Hunt told them he thought he had hit a deer. The arrest is in connection with the death of Clint Stephen Malone. Malone was riding his bicycle with his wife on Thomas Drive early Saturday morning when he was struck and killed. Hunt's vehicle has been impounded. Police are still investigating further evidence.
Now, a first look at your weather from the Titan 13 Forecast Center.
We take a look at Titan 13 radar out of Tallahassee. Notice that little light band of showers trying to creep closer to Gulf and Franklin County. Not a lot of heavy rain with this, just light rain. Let's head to the weather computer and we'll show you that we still expect that 40% chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. It'll be warm, it will be humid, and we look at our satellite radar combination. Notice this little cluster of storms still hanging around, trying to decrease its intensity, but there is more behind that will head our way tomorrow also. Into the tropics we go, still watching this little area of low pressure. You can see it right in this area here. That's where the low is located. Not really expected to see much development, though. National Hurricane Center says winds are just becoming too unfavorable for that. 76 right now in Mariana, 75 Panama City, 77 in Apalachicola. Some patchy fog tonight, more rain tomorrow. Details in a few minutes.
News 13 is on your side, finding out how your money is spent when you pay a half-cent sales tax to the school board.
Burning trash could mean more money for the county. We'll explain why.
From Panama City to Mariana, from Apalachicola to Defuniak Springs, you're watching Amy Hoyt, Jerry Brown, and Chief Forecaster Jerry Tavin. News 13 at 6 is on your side.
Property taxes have skyrocketed over the past year despite political plans to help the issue.
Now one Bay County organization is taking matters into its own hands. News 13's Candace Mills explains.
It's the American dream, owning your own home. But with property taxes at an all-time high, many homeowners are reaching out for help. And Lee Sullivan, president of Bay Tax Foundation, may have the solution.
Our proposal is for all real property that you can only be taxed at 1.25% of the taxable value.
So he came up with a petition to help homeowners save money.
We believe that governments and taxing authorities have averaged anywhere from 80 to 120% increase in the last 5 years, and that this 25% reduction is manageable and fair, and it's the right thing to do.
Property taxes are at an all-time high right now, and homeowners say it's almost like throwing money away.
It needs to come down. Something needs to be done.
I just think they need to be cut.
But in order to get the tax cap on the ballot, the petition would have to have 611,000 signatures, which is why Bay Tax Foundation is asking for your help.
We've got two choices in Florida. We can continue to have the government tell us what they will take, or we can stand up and tell them what they can have.
Candace Mills, News 13 on your side.
Panhandle organizations aren't the only ones working toward cutting property taxes. State lawmakers are working on a plan during a special session to create a 3% cap on the amount of value a non-homestead or commercial property can increase each year.
Bay County commissioners say they're taking one more step to gain control over the county incinerator. At this morning's commission meeting, the board approved a contract with Veola to handle specialty wastes. The county has long burned specialty waste at the incinerator, but because of agreements with former operator Montanay, staff never knew how much money they could potentially make off of the service. Some commissioners expressed concerns over what kind of waste was burned at the incinerator and how it will affect the environment. Chairman Mike Nelson says commissioners should not be worried.
It's been being burned, and there's never been a problem with it. So it's not, there's a big difference between specialty waste and toxic waste, and that's what we're not burning, but it's specialty waste. It's coming from a lot of retail establishments and things like that that just don't have any way to dispose of a lot of things once they no longer have a shelf life.
Commissioners believe they may be able to receive an extra $1 million in revenue from the new specialty waste contract.
Fire services in West Bay are getting a boost as the county moves forward with accepting land from the St. Joe Company to move the station. The land offer is for a parcel located right around the corner from the old one off Highway 79. But this would allow the county to own the property. Currently, they are only leasing land for that station. Emergency Services Chief Mark Bowen says a new station would be smaller than other county stations, but still house more resources than the old firehouse. The cost of a new station has not yet been determined, but commissioners say financing the building shouldn't be hard to do. A new pier is officially on the way for Bay County. Commissioners approved a $7.6 million construction contract with Shoreline Foundation Incorporated. The M.B. Miller Pier was damaged during Hurricane Dennis in 2005 and has been closed ever since. Now the county will replace it at the same time Panama City Beach builds a twin pier just miles down the road. FEMA will reimburse the county for the cost of construction for the original length of the pier.
The Tourist Development Council takes another step towards finalizing deals with MTVU. The TDC needs approval from the County Commission to spend its entire spring break budget of $150,000 on MTVU's deal. Commissioner George Gaynor expressed some concerns.
I think we have an opportunity here to change the look of spring break, and I hope that they'll do that. Now, I understand this new company that MTV has formed has cleaned up their act a whole lot, so I went ahead and voted for it, but I'm very concerned about how Panama City and Bay County is portrayed to the rest of the world.
In the TDC's marketing plan, it asked county commissioners to support a contract for a full-time sports marketing director, a deal with FSU to host a high-flying circus, and expanding the marketing of Panama City Beach as a leisure destination. In the end, commissioners approved the TDC's plan and also agreed to appoint Marsha Bush as the interim TDC director until former director Bob Warren can be replaced.
913 radar out of Tallahassee. A few showers, light showers at that, trying to sneak into Gulf and Franklin County. We may have an overnight shower, but more rain tomorrow. Details in a couple of minutes.
Titan 13 radar. Brought to you by Yamaha Sea-Doo Polaris of Panama and Honda of Panama.
Bitter Bubble Blumble. Bubble Blundle.